Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Shaun Saxum, and welcome to the first episode of the Create Stuff podcast. I'm not going to say too much. I kind of introduced everything in the podcast itself, but I want to say real quick, this is streamed live on twitch.tv/Shaun Saxum, and I'd really love to see you in chat sometime. Also, right at the beginning, there's a little bit of music in the background. This is the song Hot Tea in the Morning by Cosmo Remixers. They have given me personal permission to use their music for streams. Thank you for giving my podcast a chance. This is my first time ever trying to do something like this, and I honestly am pretty happy with the result. Please enjoy. The recording has been started, B. Recording has been started.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna shut up then.
So, I'm going to do an actual official intro, if you don't mind.
Oh, official? What are we, formal here?
Yes, we are. This is a podcast, and I'm recording it. And it's going to be recorded. And
oh my God, it's
uploaded
recording
to the internet and everything. I'm actually going to mute you for it because you're being unruly.
Okay.
Alright. Welcome to episode 1 of the Create Stuff podcast. I am your host, Shaun Saxum, and today we have the guest, fanfiction writer of It's Always the Dead Who Harbor the Most Grudges, a Dream SMP fanfiction. Can you count bees? I will now unmute them. You are now unmuted. Hello? Are you there?
Uno momento, por favor.
Oh gosh. Yeah, see, we run a professional stream here in case you haven't noticed. Incredibly professional. Incredibly
Sorry,
professional.
I don't know. Somebody yelled at me, and I don't know what they wanted, but then, they didn't respond, so I'm assuming it's just like a ghost.
Oh.
Of like, the ghost that lives in the little, there's a little door in my basement bathroom that like leads in, I think it's like a tornado shelter space, but it's really tiny, so I think like a little gremlin lives there. But that's why we just don't open the door. So it just can't come out and steal. No, you know what? I'm pretty sure that's who steals all my socks, because I don't have any matching socks anymore, and my favorite socks were like, they're not there anymore, okay? So I'm pretty sure the gremlin has been stealing my socks, and they've just been hiding in that little hole. It makes me sad.
Welcome to the podcast, everyone.
Yes, hello. I am the most professional person you'll ever meet. Most logical. The smartest, the one who always has the answers in life.
That's a stretch. Okay. Anyway.
Shut up.
We're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm going to hide my view count, because that's annoying to see. And, yeah. Alright. Well, B, let me just start by asking, how are you doing today?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a good question. How am I feeling today?
Too bad we'll never find out the answer. Alright, anyways. Moving on.
Okay, then I guess you just don't want my answer.
Alright, I need to get into like podcast mode rather than streaming mode. Okay, B. Let me just ask you. Okay, so what are you?
What am I?
As far as what the podcast cares about, I suppose.
Oh, I don't know. I guess I'm just kind of like a I'm a creator. I don't know how like professional fan fiction writer sounds. I don't feel like so I feel like just saying I'm a creator of and lover of the arts and stuff, like, and I know that's probably like way too formal for what I actually do, but I do have a like passion for writing and stuff. So I say I'm just like a creator, just like you are and stuff, just of a different medium and whatnot.
Interesting. So you're a fan fiction writer, yes.
Yes. I just rolled a D20.
Okay.
Damn.
What'd you get?
I got a natural 20. We're gonna have a good podcast.
Dang. All right. Natural 20 to start the podcast off. I should start every podcast off with rolling a D20. Actually, that's a cool idea.
So one of these times you're gonna roll a natural 1, and then it's just gonna be like the worst podcast ever.
Watch it happen, man. Literally, I roll a 1 and I tell the guest, "Hey, you're out of here. I can't interview you under these conditions. I'm going on to the next guy."
That's perfect. All right.
If I roll a 1, I just wasn't meant to interview you. God just doesn't want it.
Oh yeah, you simply it simply wasn't meant to be. The fates decided it so.
Okay, all right. So, you write fan fiction, right?
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I mean that's what I mainly do. I write like more side projects off on the side, mostly just because they're not associated with any like pre-existing works of fiction, I guess. I really only post fan fiction stuff because that's what a lot of people on the internet read especially when it's associated with a form of media that's really popular. I do have other things that I write though, like actual like novels and ideas that I like expand and think about and try to plot out points, but it's one of those things where it's like I can't draw from an already pre-existing piece of media
Mm-hmm.
to get my ideas from and to get a world setting for. And it's a really so basically what fan fiction is kind of for me in writing it is more of like a practice run on how I could actually write a good story or a novel one day. So I guess that's just what I mainly do.
Okay, that's very interesting. Actually, that gets into a few questions I was going to ask.
You
Very
can still
interesting.
ask them. I
Oh,
just
no, I mean,
did
I probably will.
broad sense.
However, that's
You
interesting. That's
better.
like genuinely
You
interesting.
better. I'm literally staring at the questions right now. Ask every one of them.
I'll warn you. I have a few others that I thought of that I didn't put on that list.
Oh well, that's kind of sad now, isn't it?
No. Uh,
No.
no, it isn't. It's great. I'm gonna come completely out of the blue
No.
here. So Pete, what like? So you say well, why do you write fan fiction? Is it because you already have like this world to play off of, or is there something else to it?
That's okay. I feel like when I do it, it's because ever since I was a little kid, I really liked writing stuff, and I feel like kind of going back to my point with like it's easier to write fan fiction than to write your own story, I guess, because you can already draw from that world and those characters, and everybody kind of within that community knows who they are and stuff. So I feel like that's why I write it, and it's also because it's an interest thing. With like, if I'm really invested in this piece of media or this show or this book or whatever, then I get really attached to characters, and then I get ideas and stuff from that, and then eventually it just becomes a thing of, oh, I have these really cool ideas in my head. Why not write them down on a Google Doc? And then eventually it becomes like a whole thing with, oh, now I'm really obsessed with this form or this storyline that I've created for myself, this alternate storyline within this specific universe and stuff. And so then I kind of just go off of that and then write my stuff, I guess.
That's interesting. So why the dream? Why the Dream SMP?
You see, Shane. All right, I'm gonna tell you this. Number one, I have a holy trinity of what I write for, or what I have written for. My holy trinity, as it stands right now, it is Detroit Become Human, SMP, and the almighty 2015 King, Undertale. That's my holy trinity, and I will tell you why this is my holy trinity of fanfiction. It's because those three pieces of like media or whatever, they have been probably my top three most hyper-fixated stuff I've ever like been really invested in. Like, I was invested in, I don't know, right now I'm really invested in this one show called Haunted. It's on Netflix. It's about like these real life stories or whatever about these ghosts or whatever. But when it comes to like specific types of stuff, like the Detroit Become Human series, I was in that fandom for God knows how long, and then I fell out of it, and I actually got back into it over quarantine, and had a whole thing with that, and I actually did write it. I wrote 2 series for it, and neither of them were finished, but they are on my AO3 page.
Okay, that's interesting.
I end up going back to them eventually. The Dream SMP, it's just one of those things where I kind of like, I accidentally stumbled upon it, and then I got really invested, and I started to really enjoy the like storyline and the characters and stuff. And then same with Undertale, really enjoyed the game, enjoyed a lot of the Let's Plays I watched, and so, but then it's also the fact that I get into the fandoms, because with most stuff that I like get invested in, at least 75% of the time I don't get into the fandom. But with those 3 pieces, I got into the fandom, and then that's how I got pulled in to writing stuff for it. So that's kind of why I chose the Dream SMP as well, is because I had such like an investment into the fandom, and I was really like interested in how the storyline was going and whatnot, and I eventually got the idea for It's the Dead That Harbor the Most Grudges book through that a couple months ago, and then I was like, oh, let's write it down, and then I wrote it down, and then I posted it. So I mean, that's pretty much why. I mean, there's really no huge thought process to it. I guess it's more of just a coincidence and situational habits or whatever, or something. I don't know. So that's kind of like my explanation for it, I guess.
Okay, interesting. So it's like when you really like something, you just write about it, really.
Yeah. And it again, it's those are the only three pieces media that I've ever written for. I haven't written anything for I really like Criminal Minds, and I really like I did really like Supernatural for a while. However, I was never really invested into the fandom, therefore I did not write fan fiction for it. So it's really only stuff that I'm like heavily invested into the certain fandom for it that I feel the need to like write stuff about it or whatever.
Interesting. Okay, so getting involved in the community is a big part of what inspires you.
Oh,
Then.
oh my gosh, yeah, because you see all of these like awesome art pieces and all these awesome other ideas on like social media, Instagram, TikTok, Tumblr, Amino. I mean, you see all of these really cool artistic adaptations and people making their own stuff, and then you get your own ideas from it. And so, actually, funny story, the way I actually came up with the original idea behind It's the Dead That Harbor the Most Grudges, it was originally I saw a TikTok. Hold on, I'm actually gonna get their handle because I have their handle written down on the thing.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
I'm not letting them go uncredited, Shane. I absolutely cannot, because they are the whole inspiration for everything I have written.
I think I actually remember you sending this to me a long time ago when you first started this.
I did, because I think I explained to you the concept that I had
I'm sure you
behind
did.
the entire thing.
Yeah.
I probably didn't. You probably just forgot. Their TikTok is snap art, which is SNAPP underscore art underscore, and their Twitter is the same handle, just a capital S. So yeah, so Snap Art, they posted a TikTok, and they're an artist. It was of a revived Wilbur, and this was way before Revive Burr was even like a thing in canon now, because I know he's a thing in canon right now.
Before
but
you go on, let me
was...
interrupt you real quick. Sorry. I feel like we might have some listeners who don't know what the Dream SMP is. Do you think you could explain that in your own words?
Well, do we want to be here for 5 hours? Okay, I'll give a very brief explanation.
Do you want me
The
to do
Dream
it?
SMP. No. I think I can do it. I think I can dumb it down a little bit. The Dream SMP is a Minecraft roleplay. Don't kill me. It's on a bunch of different people's YouTubes. There's a ton of people involved with it. It's streamed on Twitch a lot. There's a lot of really complicated and convoluted lore. Sometimes it makes absolutely no sense. There was a crazy man of the country who had
Are you okay? Are you having a stroke? Do you need help?
He had sex with a salmon, and then he gave birth to a fox.
Oh. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Calm down, B.
And then he died by his own father hands.
And his father had birthed him from a Samsung smart fridge, yeah, if I understand correctly.
Yeah, his mom is a Samsung smart fridge.
Okay. So, to give the audience a better explanation, the Dream SMP is a collaborative Minecraft roleplay server that is heavily scripted. It's a really cool collaborative creative project with a bunch of different, very popular Twitch streamers in it who are also really good actors. They have a really interesting story going on, and a lot of people have become very invested in it, especially people that have loved these Twitch streamers ever before they joined the Dream SMP. The story has become so like well made and interesting to us, like the viewers of the Dream SMP, that the community around it has become extremely vibrant and inspired a lot of people to make works about it, such as Can You Count Bees here?
Yes, or Endless Bees. I go by Endless Bees as well because that's a shorter version of Can You Count Bees because you can't. They're endless.
Okay,
Anyways,
I am curious about where the name
ignoring
comes
my
from, but
whole
I'm going to bring that up later.
do I have a story for you when
I'm
that
sure you
comes
do.
up?
I'm sure you do. Let's stay on the topic of the fan fiction for now, though. So,
Okay.
can you tell us what the plot of It's Always the Dead Who Harbor the Most Grudges is?
Okay, so I say what the original plot was going to be, and then can I say what it is right now?
Of course.
Okay, so the original plot was it was going to be a one-shot fic of it was literally just going to be Wilbur, and it actually in the first draft it did not have it didn't have Canon Schlatt like at all. He was an afterthought or when I wrote it. So basically it was going to be a one shot, and it was just going to be Wilbur getting revived, and it was going to be him basically going into the prison and giving Dream a piece of his medicine, because some shit happened. But right now, what the story is it now centers around and just to preface, right, real quick, every character in my story is the canonical version that is in the Dream SMP. This is not about the creators themselves. This is not about the streamers. These are their characters specifically. I want to preface that because I know there's a lot of confusion when it comes to this. So getting that out of the way. The plot that's going on right now is Wilbur and Schlatt. I basically went through their entire backstories. Died, but then they got the chance to see what happened after they died. So they basically had to watch another war go play out. They had to watch their family and friends get hurt, get manipulated and stuff. So they come to terms with like they weren't good people, and they want to try again, and they're really mad at themselves, but they're also really, really mad at some other people who have wronged family and friends. And so basically when they get revived, they're very mad, but they want vengeance for their family and stuff, and for the things that have been done wrong unto them that they couldn't stop. So that's basically where the title comes from, with It's Always the Dead That Harbor the Most Grudges, because it really is them harboring a lot of grudges against people hurting their family and friends, I guess. So like that's the general plot. I can't really get into it without accidentally spoiling stuff because I tend to do that.
No, I
But
get you.
that's
I
why
think
I
that's
usually
good
try
enough.
to keep that's why I try to keep things vague. But I do really enjoy writing for it. It's fun. It's not
Yeah.
fun. Oh my god. Last if you'll just let me real quick have a little side note, little digression here.
Go on, go on.
Chapter 6, that was my most recent thing I just got out for the thing. I cried a total of 7 times writing it, and it was mostly, that's why it also took so long to get out, was because it was just really emotionally draining for me, because it was specifically the beginning of it and towards the end. The middle part was okay. I could write that without getting teary-eyed because it was mostly just some other stuff with it. But was specifically the beginning and the ending that really made me like emotional and stuff. And I feel like that's good. You know that I feel like that your writing is good if you're crying while you're writing it and stuff. But that's why it also took me so long to get out, because I had to take breaks and stuff, because if I had tried to push through it, then it would have been just a word blob mess. So, but yeah, it's a very emotionally heavy story as well. So I try to preface every chapter with like trigger warnings and stuff, because I do get into a lot of heavy topics. Well, not a lot, but I get into a couple heavy topics that, you know, people need to be aware of so they don't accidentally stumble upon something and be like, oh, I wasn't expecting this, you know, because I'd feel bad. But
I get you. I get
yeah,
you.
that's pretty much.
That actually leads into a question I wanted to ask you. So, as you said, this story can really cause people to experience some emotions. Can really get people so invested that like even if the writer is crying, it has to be some pretty strong stuff. How do you like feel about incorporate making people feel emotion from your writing?
Well, as my good friend Ari says, I'm ruining middle schoolers' lives right now, and you know what? I truly am. No, I feel like with emotion, for reference, audio listeners or anybody listening to the listening to it right now, Ari is Shane's cousin, and so he can just imagine Ari saying that to me because it
Very,
is
very
definitely
easily.
something Ari would say.
Oh yeah.
Very Ari of him. But yeah, I've actually experienced this outside of fan fiction writing. I had a contest that I had submitted some works to that I had wrote personally. And they got in, and I got to watch the live stream of it because it was during COVID, so I couldn't go there and watch it live. But I had watched it on a live stream, and I went to school the next day because it was a school one. It was like a school event or whatever. But it was really cool because both of my submitted works got in, so I was really happy about that. But I go to school the next day, and I'm talking to somebody who was in the production of it. Um, and I was talking to her, and she said, "Oh, what did you write for it?" Because I had mentioned it, and I said, "Oh, I wrote the Last Dance because that was the one work, and then the second one was called Father Dearest." And so she said, "You wrote Father Dearest?" And I said, "Yeah, I did. Why?" And so she proceeds to tell me that first actor who it got assigned to, she had to give it to another actor because she could not handle it because it was really because it made her cry like
Oh.
and I felt bad because I actually knew the person who cried. And then the next actor cried every single rehearsal while performing it, and then while I was watching the live stream I could hear her voice quiver, and I was like, ah. But the thing was is that it was good because it obviously got that emotional response. I feel like when writing can get you that sort of emotional response because you really can only get that when you're watching like a movie or show. But if you can get that through written word, I feel like you've done something. And especially when it's relatable feeling, because the work that I had written and it had made those people cry, um, it wasn't because it was like, oh, so terrible, angsty, you know, all this. No, it was about absent parenting, and it was the feelings associated with that, in the form of a poem, in the form of letters, and it obviously sparked a felt emotion within those people because we share those emotions together. You know, it obviously hit home for them. So I feel like when you have that mutual feeling and you're able to, you know, have that response to it, have that same response from a different person who didn't write it, I feel like that's really good as well. Like you feel bad obviously, but you also feel like, damn, my writing was so good and also really relatable that it made somebody, you know, feel as deeply as I did about it, you know? So I do enjoy when I get emotional responses from my work because then I feel accomplished, like my point was made.
Yeah, I think that's really incredible. I think, honestly, any piece of media I've ever consumed that was able to make me feel any emotion really strongly, like especially things that have made me cry, I think that's extremely valuable. Like I enjoy crying over a piece of media because it means it just feels good to be touched in that certain way, you know? I think that's really
Because
interesting.
you get a because it strikes a yeah because it strikes a chord within you that you didn't think would get striked. And again, written word is in my opinion, is a lot harder to convey those certain emotions and get a response like that because in movies and in shows you're able to like see it, but with written works, you can't really, because it's just words on a page and you have to use your imagination and stuff. So I feel like it's especially an accomplishment when a book or whatever is able to make you do that and get that emotional response.
Right, I totally agree. Cause like with with the formats like movies or video games, they have a lot of different things to work with to make you cry. Not just like the words and the dialogue. They also have the art and the music in the background. You know. I think
The
those can.
visuals and the lighting and all these.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They can really invoke some emotions. But I think I agree with you. It's a lot harder to do it through the written word, and I think it makes it really valuable when you're able to do that. So,
Yes, yes, yes.
how about we switch the topic over to like more of your writing process? I think a lot of people would like to know about that.
God, you don't want to know what my writing process is. Okay, writing process. What do you want to know, specifically? Because you got anything specific for me about my writing process, or do you want me just to kind of explain my thought process when I write things, or how I plot out stuff?
I think I'd like to hear your thought process and how you plot out stuff. Actually, that sounds interesting.
Oh God. Okay, so my thought process. Actually, no, I'm gonna go into plotting stuff first because that delves into my thought process. So, have you? I think I've shown you my outlines before for stuff. Have I ever? Did I show you the outline
Oh yes, you did.
for? So you. So, do you wanna? Do you remember?
I actually don't remember what it said. I do remember that it was extremely outrageous and that a lot of people. Well, let me tell you all. Let me tell you all, you fans of B's current work. You have something coming, and it's going to be interesting. I don't remember what it
Oh,
is, but I remember that it's interesting.
Oh God. Anyways, moving on. So, but no, my plotting process, my plotting process. You almost spoiled my goddamn book. I'm gonna kill you. Anyways, I'm gonna. But no, my plotting process is really it's my brain. That's it. It's literally just my brain thrown up onto a Google Doc. So, when I was plotting out the dead that harbor the most grudges, and I went back and I edited it and I added stuff along the way when I got more ideas or I changed or I changed my mind on something that was gonna come up later and I was like, oh, okay then. But I basically just it's my immediate thought down on a page. And then I go back and I rework it, but it has no sense of there is no grammar, there's barely any periods within it, there's a lot of spelling mistakes because it's like my brain because I type fast whenever I'm trying to get my ideas out so then I don't forget them. And it's really long and convoluted, and then when I have to go back and edit stuff, then I have to go and delete stuff, but then it's just like the process of me trying to read through my like terrible grammar structure and then like fit in my other ideas. And then when I'm trying to make and then when I'm doing like chapter stuff, because right now on my on the fic it says 14 chapters in total, but I only have 6 out. Well, that's because I number my chapters beforehand and I plop in the chapter ideas within those within that certain chapter. I plot in the ideas that I want to happen within that chapter, and that's basically
Really?
how I plot stuff out.
So you've
um
actually planned everything out for like the entire novel, then?
oh it's oh my god, yes, everything is planned. I know exactly what's going to happen and how it's going to end and how everything is going to come together and whatnot. I know exactly what's going to happen in chapter 7, and I know exactly what's going to happen in chapter 14. I know exactly what's happening on chapter 14 is the same as that I know exactly what's going to happen in the second series. So,
Second series.
uh, second series is the continuation of this plotline. It's divided into 2 series because the first series right now is leading up to a very specific event. And then it's going to cut off there. It's going to devolve into a second series, and then that's gonna be the end game of the entire uh, uh, 2-part series. Because I had stated that within the series summary, I said this is gonna be a 2-part series. Stay tuned. So like, It's not ending at 14 chapters, everyone. It's going into a second series, but yeah, that's basically like my plotting out stuff. And then you wanted to know what my writing process was,
I would love
or
to hear that.
like
It would be very interesting
love
to
to
hear.
hear. Well, it depends. So I don't write. I try not to write every day because I feel like if I write every day, I'm gonna get burnout. So
Right,
I
that's fair.
try to write when I feel like I need to, or whenever I feel like I want to. I can only write under for some reason I can only really write under very specific conditions. Like if it is too cold in my basement, I'm not writing. If I am too hot, I am not writing. Like it's very weird and specific. I have to be like completely comfortable. My lights, like my lights in my basement, there has to be a very specific switch that has to be turned off. Um,
Mm-hmm.
very OCD about it. But once I get into like the writing mood, I can write anywhere from like I don't know, like 2,000 to 5,000 words in one sitting.
That is
And
insane.
that takes me. Well, it's actually not when you figure that it takes me like 5 hours to do like five. Like, it feels like so much time passes when I only get like 1,000 words done. When I was writing, and that's why and then that's how I end up usually pulling all-nighters to finish chapters because eventually I get to a point where I'm like, okay, the ending is about 2,000 to 3,000 words away, and it's 3 in the morning. Am I gonna stop? No. And so then I pull an all-nighter and I get it done, and I'm like, God damn it, I am so tired. And then I post it, then I crash and don't wake up until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or I say, okay, let's be reasonable, close the computer, lay my head down, and then immediately open up back the computer and post it because no, we're not doing that shit. And then we pass out until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I mean, it's like it's very it's definitely not healthy for me sometimes the way I write, but I try to make sure I don't overwork myself or I don't let myself lose sleep over it. I try to be very conscientious of how much time I'm putting into it or how late it's getting, especially if I'm in like the middle of a chapter or I'm just like starting it and it's like I started at like 8 o'clock and then it's like 2 in the morning. And I've only gotten like maybe like one fourth of the way through, and then I'm like, okay, well, we're only one fourth of the way through. We're not even halfway. We're not even towards the end. Let's just pause. Save our thoughts for later. Close the thing. Go back to bed, and then open it up 30 minutes later because I can't sleep. So I mean, no, not actually, but I go to bed and I try to like manage my time wisely, but a lot of the times it's in spurts and I forget to write for like a week. So, I mean, there's just those weeks where I don't feel like writing and that's okay,
No, I completely get
honestly.
you.
As long as you're happy with the work you create and whatnot, or how long it takes you to create, then that's your personal thing. And then that's just how I write, really. For chapter 6, I rewrote it 5 times. And I'm not kidding when I say I rewrote it 5 times because I couldn't. You can't get to point B when you don't have a point A. And I didn't have my point A when I started chapter 6 because in chapter 5 there was a thing that happened with Tubbo that wasn't planned. I had not planned for it. It was not and still is not in the outline of the book.
Mm-hmm.
I literally wrote it as like a spur of the moment thing, and I don't regret it. I honestly really like how it was handled because it helped me get to another point that I wanted to get to, still staying on track with the plot, with like the plot points, but was diverged enough to where I could get to that point where I could make the two lines meet. But I didn't have my point A starting off for chapter 6, or yeah, starting off for chapter 6 because of that, which kind of sucked. Because that's why it took me so long, because I was rewriting it constantly. But I finally got an idea about 2 weeks in, and I was like, okay, that's cool, and I wrote it down on a sticky note, and then it stayed on my computer for about 5 more days, and then I finally started writing it, and I was like, oh, this is so good, and then I started crying. So I mean, it was just a mess. It was a complete mess, but I mean, I got it done, and I'm really proud of it. So
Well, congrats on finally getting it done, I suppose. Jeez, man.
oh my god, it was a whole month of me just being like, I need to get this out, and then me pulling a whole oh my gosh, it's a squirrel out the window, and then ignoring my problems for like another day. So I mean,
That actually brings up a question. You said, like, do you feel a sense of urgency when you're writing? Like, you need to get this out on a certain time?
no, not particularly all the time. Chapter 6 was one of those moments where I was like, okay, I'm sitting down and I'm finishing this no matter what. Because it had been a month, and I don't really like. I understand, like, some works take time and sometimes they will take longer than you expect, but I feel like with chapter 6 specifically, I had been taking too long and I had been putting it off a lot. And that was also because I had some stuff going on in my life, my personal life, that was like affecting that as well, affecting my worth ethic and whatnot. And that's completely fine, but I feel like, because I usually like to try to at least get the chapters out within a 2 to 3 week schedule, and it had been a month since I had posted for It's the Dead That Harbor the Most Grudges. So I didn't want to be waiting any longer. I didn't want people to wait any longer. So I felt urgent with that kind of one. But otherwise, no, I don't really feel a sense of urgency to get stuff out, really. It's more of a thing where I have to take my own time with my writing, because if I don't and I try to rush stuff, a lot of the times it will turn out to be a whole mess, and I don't really want that. I want it to be methodical, and I want it to be not deep, I guess, because I don't like when I personally call my own works deep, because then I feel like that's more of like a pride thing, and I don't like want to come off as like, oh, my stuff is deep and whatnot. But it's more of just like, I want the emotion to be there, so if I have to be slow with it, okay, that's fine. But no, there's really no sense of urgency when it comes to me writing and uploading stuff, really.
Okay, I think that's definitely healthy. I think that's it's definitely good not to have a sense of urgency. So it's always the dead that who harbor the most grudges. You've built a bit of a community around this on Discord. How do you feel about like this community and just the community around it in general?
Just a wee bit. I really like it. It's nice. I really, honestly, I wasn't expecting it to get so big as it has. I mean, it's not as big as something like Passerine, or something as big as something like Tommy Innett's Unbeatable Method of Not. I forget what it's fucking called. It's such a good book, but like, it's nothing like that where it just has a lot of stuff behind it. And honestly, I do not care. I am so thankful for how big how big my work has gotten, that I don't need to compare myself to another one, because I was blessed enough to get to where I am right now. But I honestly really like my small community, especially on Discord. I have a couple people who only really have like a couple people who are like really really active, and that I talk to a lot, but I really really appreciate them. I appreciate the little sense of community we have going on in the Artist Hive. I love helping out other creators with like art block or writer's block. We all talk about ideas, we get tips from each other. We have chill sessions sometimes. I need to plan another one of those where we all just sit in a VC with Groovy and kind of do stuff and chill, with like quietly writing or drawing or literally doing whatever, but just coexisting with each other really helps get that process down. But I really enjoy it. It's kind of, it's a little weird for me because I've never had something as big as this happen, but it's enjoyable, and I like talking to the people who read it and getting their feedback and seeing their reactions to stuff. So it's just satisfying, I guess.
I get that. That's nice. That's nice. I really like the Artist Hive too, the Discord server you have. I'm pretty active there myself, and I have to say, everyone's really nice. It's really cool to talk to other writers and artists.
You just bully me.
I
You
do
just
bully
bully
you a
me
little bit,
in
actually.
your little editor and your little editor and your little editor and your little editor channel. You post stuff and you're like, look at what B did wrong. Ha, ha, ha. You know, like it's just
Okay, look,
it's
man.
just listen guys, it's literally just Shaun bullying me the entire time. It's not funny. He makes fun of me and it's not funny. He's so mean. You
Okay,
should join him and be
for
on my
context,
side.
for context, I am B's editor. I edit their like stories not before they post them because they're impatient and can't wait for me.
You're just slow. You're slow
Oh,
to read.
oh, all right. This is the end of the podcast, everybody. I need to talk to B privately. No, you're right. I am slow. I'm very, very slow. I promise I'll do
You're
it
not
eventually.
slow. You're just
Maybe
busy.
one
You're a
day.
busy man. You're a busy big man.
Yes, big busy man. So,
Busy man.
why do you use AO3 rather than like Wattpad or fanfiction.net?
Oh God. Okay, so I have a thing with Wattpad. I'm just gonna get out this way. I don't know what fanfiction.net is. I'm pretty sure that's an old person site.
What? Excuse me.
Oh no offense to anybody who uses fanfiction.net.
As someone who
Just
doesn't use
saying.
fanfiction.net, I'm extremely offended.
Oh, well, okay. But anyways, I have a thing with Wattpad. Wattpad has it. A couple years ago, it was completely fine. I was fine with using Wattpad because it hadn't been so monetized and like you get to buy gems. But as soon as they had a pay to read thing, I was off of that site so quick.
Really?
I'm telling you what. Like I was fine with the ads. The ads were fine the thing, but now it's a whole like pay to read premium membership, have these little coins so you can buy these stories you can read on freaking or that you can probably buy at Dollar General type shit, and it's just made me mad. I don't like Wattpad and I will stand by that. It's so monetized and it's just unenjoyable really to like look at, to read. I mean I'm not hating on anybody who uses it. You can use whatever you like. I will have no problem with you. It's just I personally have a problem with the website itself, and I don't like the way it's run. I don't like the way that stuff is tiered up and whatnot, and it's just a really bad thing. But I do love people who use it, who write stuff, and who are able to express themselves on Wattpad because I understand AO3 also has its issues and has its quirks as well. I'm not saying AO3 is like the best fanfiction website there is out there because it's not. It has its problems, and I do have my little irks and bits about it, but Wattpad in general, in my opinion, is just too monetized, and it's just aggravating to look at. But with AO3, it's very open. It's you don't have to pay for anything. Ads really. There is no ads. Yeah, there's no ads on the website.
Really?
It's very easy. Oh yeah, it's very. In my opinion, it's easy to navigate once you get it down. It's. But my only problem with AO3 is just how open it is. Because you can find fuck shit on there. I mean, some of the stuff I've seen, I don't have my filters on, is like horrendous. And I will not defend it for that because yeah, AO3 is open, but it's not moderated in any kind of the sense of the or any in any sense of the word. It's not moderated like how Wattpad is, because Wattpad you can be open, but you can't. But it's definitely moderated. Stuff gets reported and shit. But on AO3, it's like anarchy here. Like you can find really good stuff. I mean, there are so many good creators and great fan fictions and so many good works of fiction on that site, but God help you if you do not know how to use the filters, because you will find fuck shit like no matter where you go.
Wow.
No matter what fandom you go to. But again, that's not all it is. Like that's a very small part of AO3, and as long as you know how to use filters, you're good. But
that
Again,
actually
I'm
brings up
not
like
going to.
a larger question I want to ask you. Actually, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I
No,
want to
no,
ask
it's
you.
fine. It's fine.
I want to ask you what you actually think about that kind of stigma around fan fiction. A lot of people, when they hear fan fiction, a certain idea of like a certain kind of writing pops into their mind.
We all know what you're talking about. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. So how do you feel about that? What have your experiences with the stigma been in the past?
I don't know because I feel like fan fiction for me, it's always just been like, um, stuff you read, that already has a pre-existing world behind it. I feel like when people hear the word fan fiction nowadays, they're like, "Oh, okay, it's just stories." But then you also have those people who like, live under a rock, and still think fan fiction is just like smut and whatnot.
Mhm.
Self-inserted stuff so you can have, sex with characters from a show or whatnot. But no, I feel like the stigma around fan fiction, it can be very deteriorating for people who actually are creating quality stuff in the community or creating quality stuff from their own community, and it puts down those writers as well because in my opinion, fan fiction is a great tool to learn how to write. Um,
Mhm.
and it helps you get down the rules and like how to have better grammar structure. You steadily improve more and more as time goes on. Um, so yeah, I feel like the stigma behind fan fiction really puts down newer writers, who are like, oh, I have these really cool ideas and stuff, but like as soon as they say, oh, I write fan fiction, then you're like, oh, so you write smut and stuff, and it's like, no, I literally just write, fun alternate. What if this happened? So I feel like it should be respected more in a sense. I literally explained what fan fiction was to my grandma because she was in because oh god. Okay, so she FaceTimes me and she's like, "Hey, what have you been doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, I've been writing." And she's like, "Oh, what have you been writing?" And I said, "Oh, I've been writing this little thing and posting it on this website, it's pretty cool." And she's like, "What is it?" And so then I had to explain to her what fan fiction was, and then I had to explain the Dream SMP to her, and she was like, "Okay, can I read it?" And I said, "Okay." So now I have to like put it into a Google. So now I have to put it into a Google Doc and send it to her.
Oh my
So,
gosh, you're sending
oh
your
my god.
grandma your story. Oh, I'm so
She
sorry.
wants she wants to read it and she's really nice and she's like cuz I had explained to her like all the stuff that went behind it and she was like, oh, "That's really cool, sweetie. Can I read it? I'm really interested." And I'm like, "Grandma, you're not going to get it." And she's like, "Sweetie, I don't care." And I'm like, "Okay, grandma." So it's like my struggle of hoping she'll forget about it, but I have to go see her in July, so I'm really hoping she forgets about it because I really don't want her to come up to me one day while I'm spending my vacation with her and her be like, "Hey, do you remember when you told me about that thing you were writing?" And I'm like, "Oh god. Oh no. Oh shit."
Oh my
Because
god.
then because and I warned her. I said, "Grandma, I don't write about like fun stuff. I'm a very deep person. I'm not a deep person. I'm a very emotional person. I write about a lot of heavy topics." And she said, "Oh, it's okay. I've read I've read some pretty funny books." And I said, "Grandma, no." Grandma, no.
Oh my gosh.
It just makes me so it makes me laugh honestly because it makes me happy that she's like that supportive where she's
Mhm.
like, "I'll read it even if I don't understand it." So
Well, it's really nice
she's a
that you have
very
such a
lovely,
supportive grandma.
yeah, she's very lovely. I love her.
Mhm. Okay. Well, that's honestly nice. I know I've had my parents ask me if they could read my writing, even like the fan fiction that I've written in the past, and I have. Oh gosh, coming up with excuses is difficult.
You're like, well, actually, it's not finished, and oh wait, my computer just fell into the bathtub.
Oh, whoops! I accidentally just deleted it all. Looks like you can't read it anymore. Sorry.
Oh, damn. I just wiped my entire computer with a whole virus. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, I just threw it out a window.
Oh. Okay, so let me think. What else do I want to ask? Well, what advice do you have for others out there who might want to write fan fiction themselves?
Do it. You won't. Really, it's really just a go put yourself out there, dude. If you got an
Okay,
idea, do
I think
it.
your voice actually cut out there when you said "do it," so it just sounded like you said "you won't."
You won't. You won't.
For
No,
the
just
record, B
no.
definitely meant to say "do it," you won't, as if that was a challenge, not "you won't," as in you're never going to do it.
Oh, no,
Don't
that's
do it.
definitely what I'm
No more
just-
competition. No more
just like,
competition.
no,
Don't write
no,
fan
no,
fiction.
no, no, shut up.
I'm
Shut
the
up.
streamer
What
Ludwig.
do you,
That you want to be a streamer? Don't stop. I don't want competition.
oh my god. Anyways, no, do it. Like, if you have an idea, like, don't let it stop you being like, oh, well, I think it's too niche and no one's gonna like it. Stop it! No! Stop being doubtful. Do it. Bet you won't. Honestly, like, that's how you have to get over yourself, I guess. I had to get over myself with the writing fan fiction because I had a lot of ideas. I just wasn't confident enough to be like, oh, let's put it in a Google Doc and write it and post it on the internet. Um, like, just do it. If you have an idea, and you think, and not even, because sometimes people are like, oh, I don't think it's good enough. No, it is good enough, okay? You have an idea, you have it all in your head. I know you're making up animatics in your head listening to your little playlist, buddy, all right? Write it. Bet you won't. Put it out there. You're
Oh god,
probably
I'm being
really
called
good and
out.
you just don't realize it, all right? So do it, okay? You have wonderful ideas, and you shouldn't feel like you shouldn't put them out there because your brain is telling you not to. Do it. Except if it's like fucked up. We all know what I'm talking about.
Okay,
fucked
okay,
up.
okay,
Please
yeah,
don't
we know
do
what you
that.
mean. We know what you mean.
But other than that, do
Already
it.
enough of that out there.
Yes, I challenge you. Do it. Put yourself out there. Get over yourself. You'll do great, and um, it'll help. I honestly, it will help.
That's awesome. Yeah, it really helps you get better at writing. Like I started writing fan fiction, and I have to say, I think I've gotten a lot better from it. Like genuinely,
Yes.
it's insane the amount you will grow from just starting writing fan fiction. And I mean, part of why I think starting like with fan fiction is such a good idea is because your work is derived from another pre-existing work, so you don't have to build like these characters and these worlds, which is an amazing experience for a writer. But when you're just starting out, sometimes it's good to have like sort of a template. However, that kind of brings me into a different topic. Something I was actually talking to someone at work today, and they were wondering about this too when I was talking about this podcast to them. So, fanfiction, like as a medium, is by nature derived from other works. You'd agree with that?
Yeah, it is. That's pretty much what fan fiction is.
Okay.
It just depends on how much you're deriving from it. Because sometimes you're using the characters directly and you're using the direct storyline. Other times you're making just alternate universes, which are called AUs um, of that of that template, and you're still using the characters. You're just in a different setting, and then that's how you make your own stories, basically.
So, an
Or
alternate
you're
universe.
literally
Sorry, real quick.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Let me say this real quick. An alternate universe would be like in the Dream SMP if Wilbur came back from the dead rather than, staying dead. Actually, wait, he did that. Hold on. Wait,
No,
that's a
well,
bad
hold
example.
on.
That's a bad example.
In AU,
like
in
if
AU,
like if a character
like,
died
when
that didn't die in the actual series, what would happen? That's an alternate universe because something that did not actually canonically happen did happen, and now you're writing about
well,
what it'd be like.
that actually goes more towards my first one, where it's like you're basically taking the characters, taking the storyline, and doing like a what if situation. The second one that you're talking about, AUs tend to deal more with you're taking the characters except you're putting them in different settings. So like a coffee shop
Oh.
AU,
Oh, I see. I see.
high school AU, all those different ones, like those are AU types things. And then there's the third one that really isn't used all that much. Or at least from my perspective, it isn't used all that much, where you're taking basically the world and you're creating your own characters for that. And sometimes sometimes it's a self insert, sometimes it's not, and you're just creating characters for that setting, and then you're creating your own plotline from that. That one I haven't seen much ever, honestly. So
Hmm.
that's pretty much like the three. versions that I can come up with
I'm sure there's a lot more out there. I mean, I think I can think of a
yeah.
fourth version, but we don't need to talk about that one.
Oh, don't even. But, yeah, there's just so many different ways you can do it and whatnot. But yeah, that's pretty much what the definition is.
Okay, interesting. That's actually a really interesting definition. All right. So, what I was going to ask about it being like derived from other works, do you feel like that devalues fan fiction as a medium at all? Do you feel like
Yeah,
it's like on par with real like classic like novel writing and just writing in general?
it the only reason why I say it kind of devalues it is because I don't want to come out. I really don't want to come off as an asshole, but
Mhm.
like the reason why I say it devalues it just a wee bit is because it is coming from an already pre-existing piece of media, and you're taking the characters that already exist, and you may be changing their personality, or you may be like doing headcanons of them, or headcanon personality versions of them, but you're still taking from it, and you're not creating your own world or your own characters and stuff. You know, you're taking from it, and so it just devalues it slightly. I'm not saying that some works of fiction with created by fan fiction writers are not on par with novel successes, because no, I think there are fics out there that deserve the Nobel Peace Prize. Like there are just some of them that I'm like, Jesus Christ, you need to be the bestseller list, please, because it's like that good. But it is really sad to think about it, but yeah, it does devalue it just a little bit.
Mhm.
Um Especially because most of the time you can't make money off of it, because it is coming from a pre-existing piece of media, and by trying to monetize off of it, by publishing it or anything, you can get copyright claimed, or you can get sued for it, in
Lots of
some
legal
cases,
concerns.
because legal concerns surrounding it. So yeah, it does devalue it just a slight bit, and especially because it also devalues the creator themselves, because they can't make money off of it. You know, like it may be like this novel worthy, like so well written. It's like a banger of a novel. Just it's so good, but they can't make money off of it. It could be so popular, but they can't make money off of it directly. They
I
can
see.
probably make money off of it on Patreon or whatnot,
Actually, that was something I
but
wanted to ask you about. How do you feel about making money off of like fan fiction, and would you want to do it, and if so, how?
go for it. That to your first question, go for it. Get bank. All right. Take all the middle schoolers' money. All right. But
Get their lunch
take
money.
their lunch. Take their lunch money. But yeah, like go for it. Take like if you have a good enough thing and you have a big enough fan base, go for it. Make money. Bet you won't. Me personally, I don't think I will, honestly. This is more of a fun, creative project for me. In all honesty, I would probably only really want to make money off of stuff I write if it was my own original work. It wasn't fan fiction, because I feel like it just does better. It makes me feel better, and I am definitely not putting down anybody who does make money off writing fan fiction, because you are getting that bag, and I look up to you. Please teach me how. But like, um, no, it's like I I don't feel as if I should have the right to make money off of my own stuff I write, fan fiction wise. But
Interesting.
um,
Interesting.
yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah, get your bank if you can make money off of writing fan fiction, and I won't be doing it because I don't feel like I should, or that I need to, because it is a creative project for me, and it's like a fun little activity, and I feel like if I were to put a monetary price on it, I would lose interest
Okay, that's interesting. That's
pretty fast.
interesting.
So
So, would you like something that I personally believe is that a lot of people say if you work and like if your work is what you love, that you'll never work a day in your life. But I personally believe if your work is what you love, it will just become work and you will not love it anymore. Do you agree with that?
um
Like a
I
published
can go along
author,
with the idea.
it's like when you're a published
Right.
author, it's not you're not making it out of the the love of it anymore. You're making it because you need money, you know, and then it just you can't put as much creativity into it, and now you have to do it. It's not something you want to do anymore. Like, do you feel that way at all?
I kind of disagree with that just a little bit. I feel
Really?
like, yeah, your work is what you love. And I feel like you don't have to work a day in your life when you love that. I feel like it becomes like what you said when you get restricted by like a publishing company or something, or like your own editor who's like, we can't have this because it'll anger the Karens of the world or whatever. The white the white mom Karens. It will anger all of them. But yeah, I feel like that's when it gets to that point. But I feel like burnout is also a problem with, like, you write so fast and so much that eventually your brain just can't handle it, and you burn out and you don't feel like writing for it anymore because you feel like it's a chore, which is when you have to step back, take a break, and then come back to it when you're ready and you're not so burnt out.
But if you're working, you can't take that break because you gotta feed your like family and stuff.
Well, yeah, I feel like when you're a professional, when you're a published author and writing is your job, then yes, that is your work. However, if you're writing for something that you love and that you've created and you put a ton of time into, I don't feel like it becomes a work anymore. I feel like it is something that you are passionate about and whatnot, and it should, if it is starting to feel like work, then it's not your product anymore. It's not your love anymore. It's not what you envision it to be if it's becoming something that's more of a chore than it is of a passion, you know. I don't know if I'm phrasing that correctly. Um
No, I understand
or
what
I
you
don't know
mean.
if I'm making sense, but
That makes complete sense.
like,
Trust me.
I know, but I know sometimes I can say stuff and then I don't make sense. So,
Very true.
but I feel like, yeah, that's pretty much my take on it.
Okay, interesting. Interesting. That's actually a very different take than what I've heard from a lot of people. Like most people I've said that to in real life. That's interesting, Bay. Very interesting. So, hmm. Okay, let's talk about the Dream SMP a little bit. All right.
Oh God, why do I? No.
Oh,
Anyways.
okay, so. Oh, wait, before that, I should ask this question, because this actually kind of relates to what we were just talking about. I apologize, I'll come back to that in a second. Do you
Okay.
want to
I gotta
be a
prepare
published
myself.
author one day?
Oh my God, my dream, my passion, my love, my beloved. I would love to be a published author one day.
Really? Okay, interesting, interesting.
That's been like my dream since I was like in fourth grade.
And do you
But
think you're going to pursue that?
yeah, I hope I will. I don't know. I try to be optimistic about it because I feel like having a good mindset tends to get you places and tends to
Hmm.
get you farther than what you would have if you had a pessimistic or realist take on it. And obviously you have to keep in mind like the reality of the world and stuff, but I feel like having a good mindset on your goals really helps you get there and helps you motivate to get you there. So I hope I hope that I can get there, and I will get there. The one thing I want to do before I die is I want to publish a book. I don't care if it's the worst thing, nobody reads it, I don't get any money off of it, I wasted money publishing it. I want to have a published book before I die.
Okay.
So, um yeah, I do want to be a published author, and I don't know if that's going to be my job, but I would love to be one. And I hope that is my job when I'm older. I do have a backup. I do have a backup job, which is probably teaching English at high school, or being a teacher, or being something that, like, a public service worker of some kind.
Okay, interesting,
Out there.
interesting. So, let me ask you this. Let's say, well, actually, so the Dream SMP, it's not like
Oh God.
necessarily a published like copyright work. It's not like a series of books or a movie or something. It's just a bunch of people on a Minecraft server. And even like it's a Minecraft server, you know, Minecraft is a copyright thing. What are they going to do? Like copyright their Minecraft server? Let's say tomorrow Dream was taken on Twitter announces The Dream
No.
SMP is public domain. You can do whatever you want with your works based off the Dream SMP. What are you doing, B?
Publishing it immediately. No, I'm kidding. No.
You have justified everything you have just said.
Kidding,
Man's
no,
got
I
dollar
would
signs
never.
in their eyes.
I got dollar signs. I am a capitalist whore. Anyways, no, if it was public domain, I feel like that would be really funny if I were to publish it, but I'm not finished yet, so I mean, there's no point in publishing it. If it got big enough, maybe, yeah, but I'd probably
Really?
waste money doing it.
Yeah, that's actually probably true.
I also have the fear of, like, creators themselves reading it. Like, that's my one fear. It's like, I don't want you to read it, please! Please never read it, please! I'll cry!
Oh my gosh, that actually goes so perfectly into my next question.
Oh,
So,
God.
who's your favorite Dream SMP character?
Oh, you can't, no, don't ask me that, please!
Okay,
I'm
not
gonna get
favorite creator,
crucified.
not favorite character necessarily, but favorite content creator. Like as a person, not as a character.
Like, I can give you my character. It's just, I was making a joke about me getting crucified.
Well, give me both. Give me both. I don't care.
Okay,
Come on, come
okay.
on. Throw 'em at me.
Favorite content
Crucifixion
creator.
time. Everybody
just
get your
in general.
torches.
Oh my god, please, please, por favor. Anyways, my favorite content creator, in general, that either like I watched before or I found during watching the SMP. I have a couple. I like Phil. I like Wilbur. Tommy's cool. I like Jack. Jack's hilarious. And Quackity. Oh my god, I love Quackity. He does not post enough, but he's so good. Love him.
I'm a big fan of his lore. It's so good. It's so
It's-
well made. His
it's
editing
so
is
good.
amazing. It's like watching a movie, man.
No, I know it is, but yeah, those are like a couple of that I really like as like content creators and stuff because they put out really good stuff.
Okay, I think.
I really love like every content creator on that server. Really, it's just like those are the main ones I watch because I don't know why, but they just appeal to my sense of like humor and their editing on their videos or stuff, or like the vibes on their streams are really nice. So
I get you. I honestly feel the same way. Those are pretty much my favorites too. I'm a big fan of all the people you mentioned. Like I watch their streams all the time.
yes. And then favorite character. Ooh, this is hard. Because I have my characters that I write for my story. Like, those aren't the characters in canon. So originally I joked about being a Revive Burr fan, and then there was a whole stream, and I was like, you know what? Fuck Revive Burr, I hate him. So no.
Are you talking about the one where
honestly-
he went around and said sorry to everyone?
Oh my god, I fucking hate him. Anyways, Gaslight Gatekeep Girl Boss. That's my boy. That's my president. Anyways. No, I honestly really like Wilbur as a character. He was really interesting to watch, and I'm interested to see what he does. Ghostbur. Oh god, I cried. I'm not even gonna.
Please
I'm not
don't make
even
me
gonna
cry.
sugarcoat
Don't bring it back up.
Yeah, we're gonna. No, he's completely fine. His whole little afterlife is in the Origins SMP, and
Yeah, he's in the Origins
truth.
SMP. He definitely is. Wilbur
is my truth.
did not go on Reddit and say that Ghostbur is in purgatory, not with friend, just watching a screen where text scrolls by saying what everyone is currently doing. He's definitely not currently scared, wondering why Tommy left him there, and he definitely hasn't already been there for years of time in his own view. And he definitely won't be there for many, many years of time going forward, and he definitely will not never see the light of day again, and he definitely will not live a hopeless eternal existence in that train station.
Oh, he lives in the Origins SMP, and that's where we're gonna leave it, and I'm not gonna think about what you just said. Anyways,
Cry!
no,
Cry!
Shut up. Anyways, I really liked, I like Ghostbur.
I liked Ghostbur.
Shut the fuck up. I'm a really big fan of, like, really enjoy Fundy. You know what? No. Erase what I just said about fucking Wilbur. I love Fundy.
Really?
Love
Fundy?
all the I love a lot of the characters, but like specifically the ones I can relate to are the ones that I usually are like, oh yeah, that's my character. I fucking love Fundy.
Okay,
Oh my
so
god,
how do
I
you relate to
cried.
Fundy?
His one stream he had where it was like the dream one where he has premonitions and whatnot. There was a point in the stream, it was around the end, and I burst out crying. It was like he's relatable in such a weird way in the lore, and you wouldn't think so, but it's just like he's just such a fascinating character, and I'm really excited because in chapter 7 I get to really look at his character more than I have been when I've like in the previous chapters, because
Really?
I've hinted at it a lot, and I actually went into it just a wee bit in chapter 6. I didn't go into it fully, but I went into it just a little bit. But I'm going to get more into his character in chapter 7.
Okay,
Um,
interesting. And
but
I know you have a little sneak peek for us coming up soon. I don't want to get to that quite yet, but just saying.
oh no,
You
never.
guys should be a little
But
bit excited for that. Make sure to
I
listen
love
to the
Fundy
end.
as a character. He's he's just lovely, and I love him as a character. He's interesting. He's I don't know. I don't even know how to describe him. I just really like his character. Um, yeah. I think everyone on that SMP is a really interesting character. However, if I ever meet a I'm sorry, but if there are any techno, Philza, Sam, well, again, canon character, techno, Phil, Sam, Dream, all those four. If I ever meet an apologist, I'm going to put glass in your food. Joking. I'm joking.
Jeez, man.
I am joking. You can have your opinions. You can have your opinions. All right. It's just your opinions are wrong.
Well, as an awesome dude apologist. Anyways. Okay.
I've already argued.
You have.
Argued.
All right. Look, I'm gonna mute you. I'm sorry. I'm gonna mute you.
And I won.
Whatever. I don't want to hear it out of you. It ended in a draw, and you know that. All right, look, we're not here to discuss the Dream SMP. We're here to discuss your fan fiction and your fan fiction writing. Screw off.
Okay. You are such a weird man. And
all right,
why am I friends with
yeah,
you?
shush, whatever. Look, man, he may have cut off someone's arm, but it was out of love. Okay. Anyways.
I hate you. I literally hate you.
All
Love
right,
is dead.
look.
Love is dead.
Look, okay. B. Just now, Wilbur Sood has tweeted out a tweet saying that your story is, quote, pretty cool. And they added you in
actually? Wait, what?
No. This did not actually just happen. Theoretical situation. This is completely hypothetical. Let's say this hypothetically happened. Oh, I am so sorry if I had said okay, look, B, if that had actually happened, I would probably be like screaming right now. Let me go check. Let's see if it did happen. Let's see if it did. Nope.
No, it didn't.
Nope, it hasn't. Probably never will. But let's say hypothetically it did. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be mean.
It's okay.
Okay, let's say hypothetically it did though. How would you react to that? How would you feel about that?
I would be laughing, and then I proceed to delete the entire thing. Just be gone. No more. That's I'm just kidding. No, I feel like if that happened, I'd be like, shit. Hi, I guess. Yeah. Nice. Thanks. Like, I'd probably be really embarrassed, but it would be really cool.
Would you ever want one of them to read your work?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I literally left a warning. I didn't leave a warning. No, I left a thing at the beginning of my first chapter that said, if you're a content creator who plays on the Dream SMP and you're reading this, no, you're not. I really like. It's not that I don't want them to, I guess. It's because I feel like there's a divide in the fandom between the content creators and the fanfiction writers because
really,
I don't know. Not like a bad divide. It's just like a divide that's healthy, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Like,
Nothing bad or anything.
I get what you're saying. Like, it's important to have a divide between, these like real people with real lives who are just making this content. It's just like it's their job to do this, to make this content. It's just their art form.
Obviously.
Like being
So,
obsessed with
and
them isn't a good thing, and they don't want to
yeah.
get too involved to the point where they like invite this obsession or like crazy fans.
Yeah, obviously, and I feel like, and again, if that did happen, then obviously they thought it was good. I feel like, yeah, I guess if it did happen, then that was of their own accord. I would not want them to do it. I would like it if it wants to happen. Cool, it happened. I will almost probably delete the entire thing, but thank you for giving me your praise. Like, awesome. I'm starstruck. Thank you.
Right. That actually
have
like
your autograph.
people like especially animators out there like sadist. Imagine what it's like for them. Like, geez, man, getting so much recognition from these people that you look up to so much must be insane.
Oh my gosh, I love Sadist. Sadist
Same.
did a lot of Hollow Knight stuff, and I actually went back and watched it.
Me
and,
too. I love the Hollow Knight stuff.
I love watching Hollow Knight and playing it as well. I'm bad at it. I'm horrible. But
It's one of my favorite games.
I love their animation style and stuff. So I love them for that. Good for them. Love them to death. I don't remember what their pronouns are, so I'm just gonna do the they them thing that I do usually. But yeah, love their stuff. Very glad for them. They got recognized as they should for their stuff. And I'm glad they're getting recognition, because I feel like animators are like, oh my god, I feel so bad for them because YouTube is so hard.
That's completely
People
true.
who don't make content that is over 8 minutes. They changed the policies, but
yeah, that's really
it's
tough.
just so hard
Especially when
for
it's like based around a
animators
song.
to exactly, and it's hard to make money off of that as well. So I'm glad they're getting recognition for their work and stuff, especially when they're completely deserving of it.
So here's a question then. You're saying like these animators, it's good for them to make money off of their work, even though it's derived from like the Dream SMP. Well, how do you feel that's like different from making a fan fiction?
Can you say the question one more time?
How do you feel that like making an animation is different from writing a fan fiction in like how like oh, I don't know how to say this. Like how you say with writing a fan fiction, it's since it's derived from another work, you wouldn't like want to make money off of it personally. However, with animation, it's a little bit different, isn't it?
Yeah.
How
Well,
so?
I don't feel like it's different, but you're able to. I feel like animation, it takes just as much as work, if not a little bit more work. Not time. Actually, no. It takes just as much work as it does with fan fiction, but I feel like it's different from fan fiction in the way that animation is just, oh my god, it's so hard to get right and stuff. And again, if you want to monetize your own work, that is your own decision, and I support you, because you know what, love you for that. Get that bank. But I feel like it's kind of this. It's one and the same with like animations from pre-existing works of fiction, stuff. So like my same point that I made earlier with like monetization on fan fiction and whatnot. I
Okay,
guess
interesting.
could be applied here. I honestly don't think animation is too much different from fan fiction. It's just a different form of medium that you create from, and it's just as hard as writing is, for me at least. Like that's really all I can compare animation to personally, is like how I write and whatnot. So I have friends who are animators and artists and stuff, and they relate to me as well with saying like it's a time consuming, painful like sometimes it can be a painful process. It's painful for my eyes and my brain and my fingers, because I'm constantly trying to type stuff, and it's painful for animators. And I'm not speaking for them, I'm just saying from like how I've talked to some of my friends who are animators. It's painful for them because their wrists can get locked up. They're staring at a screen, or they're staring at a piece of paper, or there's so many things that can go wrong if they're doing like traditional art or like their painting or whatever. Like so many things can go wrong in that when they can't do a full Control Alt Delete.
Right,
or
like
whatever.
and wrist injuries are like such a huge deal too. You know?
No, because then you lose your ability to be able to perform what you need to do, because sometimes digital artists, that's like their only, digital or traditional artists, like that's their only way they can make money sometimes, is by doing that stuff. So when they get into wrist injury or they get a hand injury or something, then that's literally, it can literally threaten your livelihood.
Mhm. That's really dark. That's like such a dark situation to be in. I couldn't imagine that. I feel horrible for all the people who've had to experience that.
No. Sorry.
What? Okay. Interesting. So,
Have you heard,
I think
have
at
you
this
heard the
portion,
one?
have I heard the one song?
Have you heard the song God Rest You Merry Gentlemen by Pentatonics?
Uh, yes, as has everyone else in the world. You know, actually,
I have
that's there's a funny story about that. One time I was in band
oh
just talking to people, and I was trying to say the name of that band, and I called them Plate Tectonics, and nobody had any idea what I was talking
plate
about until one of them was like,
plate tech
"Pen? You mean Pentatonics?" I was like, "What are you talking about? Their name is Plate Tectonics."
Yes, my favorite band, Plate Tectonics. Perfect. I love it.
Okay, so I'm going to ask now for all of those in chat. It looks like we actually have a fair amount of viewers. I appreciate you all. Thank you for coming. I'm sorry I haven't been reading chat. I won't really be doing those during these podcasts. Do you guys have any questions you'd like to ask me? If you do, please ask them in the chat now. I'm going to start asking those. And while we wait for those to come in, let me ask you: do you read any other fan fictions? And if so, which ones would you recommend?
Oh my god, I'm getting my list out. I'm getting my list out. Give me
Oh
a
no!
minute. I
Oh
wasn't
no!
prepared. I have the list. Give me a minute.
Wait, can
Give
you
me
just
a
do like
moment.
one or two, maybe? Like just talk
I'm
about
doing the
them.
I'm doing okay, I'm gonna do my top 5. Give me a minute. Fuck, I can't move any of them. Okay, hold on. I had to go to my incognito tab because that's what I read them on. Because I don't want them in my freaking search history. Because then if my mom goes through my phone, she's gonna be like, "What is this?" And I'm gonna be like, "Mother, it's my fan fiction that I read." She'll be like, "What?" Anyways.
Okay. Before, as you're searching for that, I'll ask the question from Sammy Sue Support. What's your favorite type of M&M?
Oh God. Oh wait. Color wise,
I think they, I think
green
I
one.
that's what I thought at
The
first, but like they're all the same. I
the
think they definitely mean like
like
flavor. You know, like the peanut
flavor
M&Ms or like the
the
crunchy ones.
I like
They're
the
all crunchy.
original. I'm very much an original person. I don't like peanut flavored stuff, not gonna lie.
Okay, they
I'm
say
not a
like
peanut
flavor.
person
Really?
unless I like Reese's, but I don't like anything else that's like peanut flavored.
Take notes, fan
But no,
fiction writers. Take notes.
take note. Oh my god. Anyways, okay, my top fucking 1, 2, 3, 4 three. Are you wet? Um Oh, hold on, I found it.
Nice.
Okay. All right. So, my top 5 right now that okay, and I also have a list of stuff that I need to read. So I'll probably have an updated list eventually. But the ones right now that I'm currently reading that I am really enjoying, or that I have read and I have enjoyed. Um, First one is uh gotta do them. Okay, anyways. The first one is The Lights Go Out, My Heart Goes Still by Curseworm. It's a canon diverted version of like what happened to Tommy after exile and like escaping and going to Techno's house. So that's that one. My next one is the series called Encompass by Anonymous. And the book and the first fic inside of that is called Take This Compass, Follow It Home. It's a Foster AU fic that deals with the SBI, which is Sleepy Boys Incorporated. So Wilbur, Techno, Tommy, Phil, and Tubbo. And it deals a lot with mental health, and it's a such a good representation of ADHD and anxiety, and it's like it made me cry in science class. So like you can you read it. It's so good. That's that one. Don't laugh at me. I know you're laughing at me. Don't laugh at me.
I am laughing at you.
Shut up. Anyways, the next one is called Breathing's Just a Rhythm by Molly Polly Kins. Kins with a Z on the end. It's a story about how Tommy, Tubbo, Schlatt, and Dream are accidentally go back in time to the Manberg era. And it's basically a different retelling of how it went down, but they went back in time, so they're dealing with everything that they had no after the fact. So like Tommy's exile had already happened in the alternate timeline, but since they went back in time, Tommy still has all that trauma. So Tubbo also has his trauma. Schlatt was dead and now he's back, and it's such a good story. Like it's called Breathing's Just a Rhythm by Molly Polly Kins. Love them to death. Love their story. Such a good character. Cool. I love Wilbur. Wilbur in that story, I took inspiration when I wrote Pogtopia Wilbur for one of my chapters. I took inspiration from their Wilbur and put it into my own, and changed it around a little bit. You're really popular.
Taking a character from a character from a work. That's interesting. Taking a character from a fan fiction that is a character from an already existing work. Inception.
Oh my god. Inception. Anyways, a really popular one, Tommy's Unbeatable Method of Avoiding Sudden Death by Eneli or whatever. It's Eneli. Kind of like a crack fic with superheroes. It's the SBI kind of, and then it's such a funny ass. It's so funny. It makes me it cracks me up. Oh my gosh, it updated!
Oh my god. Oh, calm down, B. Jeez, man.
Can I go?
What? No. I'm not done with you yet.
Oh no, fuck. No, it's an angst chapter. I'm upset. Anyways, that's
we have to. This podcast has to reach 2 hours. You still got 35 minutes left.
I'm sorry.
I'm joking.
Anyways,
I'm joking. It doesn't have to reach 2 hours. We're almost done.
It's an angst chapter, so I can wait for it. I don't want to ruin my mental health right now. Anyways, and my last one is called the Dad Schlatt Collection by Bop Goes the Weasel. Bop with like a B. Bop. Bop Goes the Weasel. It finished. It finished in March, and it's 23 parts long. They're all one shots, and it's Dad Schlatt, because leave me alone, okay? It's angsty, but it's lovely, and I love it, and it's good, and it's great, and I hated the way it ended, because I thought it was gonna end differently, but no, I guess not. I didn't get the ending I wanted, but no, that's fine. It was the creator's choice. I have my own version of how it ended. I skip over the last two works in the series, but yeah, it's called the Dad Schlatt Collection by Bop Goes the Weasel. It's very good, and I love it, and I sometimes go back and I read it. It basically centers around Schlatt taking care of baby Tubbo, and also Quackity is in it as well.
Sounds very fluffy.
Not romantic. It's platonic. He's just there helping out, but very nice. I love it. Very good. So, okay. Those are my recommendations.
Cool.
Or what I'm reading currently.
Okay. Well, it doesn't look like Chad has many questions. I think I've definitely gotten to. I've exhausted all that I've had to ask you. I guess. Let me just wrap this up with the final question. Well, actually, before that, wait. Do you have anything else you want to say?
Sorry.
You're good. No worries.
I was looking at something. Alright. Do I have anything I want to say?
Yeah, anything else you want to add? Any other words you want to put into here that I haven't specifically prompted?
Stop telling me I can't buy plushies. What the heck?
You need to make better financial decisions.
I make perfectly good financial decisions.
This has nothing. Okay, no, shush.
You are missing three. I am looking at your questions, and you are missing three of the deep ones, and I like those deep ones. What the hell? I'm tearing you
Okay,
to
I wasn't
pieces.
planning on asking every single one. I'm just going with the flow, man. All right, look, B. What of these questions do you want me to ask? Which of these 3 questions are you looking for me to ask?
Okay. Hold on. Looking through them. Okay, there's a couple.
Oh, this has
There's a
become
couple. Hold
scuffed.
on. This is not scuff. This is me just being interested in some of the questions you had. So there's like at least 5.
Let's ask
we're gonna-
one more question, and then I have a final question to wrap this up for you. I'll let you choose
Oh
your
my
last question,
God.
though.
You're letting me, the most indecisive person, choose the last question.
Okay, you want me to choose it? I bet I can. I
no,
bet I can figure out which ones you're interested in.
Wait. Can we ask? I'm begging you. Let's do 2 more. Please.
2 more? Oh my gosh.
Okay, you can pick one of the personal deep ones you haven't asked, but I want to talk about the first series I've ever wrote fan fiction for as the second question.
Oh shoot, you should talk about that. Go for it. Go for it.
Oh, Tonk, I got the baby Schlapp plushie. I love it. It's
Okay,
great.
go on.
And I purchased it.
Podcast listeners, I apologize. You cannot see the Twitch chat. B was just asked which slap plushie they got from YouTube's. But go on with with the question.
Okay, no, you choose one of the personal deep ones you haven't asked me yet. And then I'll answer the one I just talked about.
Okay, fine. Well, in that case,
know.
B, who do you look up to, both like from an author perspective and just in general?
Other standpoint, I don't really have anyone, honestly. Feel like a lot of stuff that I've just read over the years, I've just kind of had. I've just kind of read stuff and been like, yeah.
Has anything ever like really inspired you to write? Anything you've read?
Not really. I feel like just when I was younger and I read a lot of books from like 4th grade to 7th grade, so I just kind of read stuff. I would have said like when I was younger, I probably really looked up to like people like Aaron Hunter and J.K. Rowling. No longer though. I hate that woman, that creature, that cretin.
Wow, jeez. All right.
The Twitter cretin of the world woman. What? Listen, that woman
Okay.
is.
Oh my god.
I hate her. Anyways, anyways.
Let's not go into a tangent about that. Please.
I don't like that woman. Anyways, but no, I feel like just in a writing perspective, I don't really have anybody I look up to. There's definitely people's styles who I emulate or I try to emulate.
Such as?
I don't know, Stephen King. I emulate a lot of his style. I feel like with like world building or whatnot. I definitely enjoy looking at people, just different ways of writing. I guess I enjoyed. I'm gonna butcher his name, but Elizer Wesiel. He's the guy who wrote Night, I believe. I really enjoyed reading his book. His style of writing was really good. And Aldous Huxley as well, but I hated his book.
What's your favorite book?
Absolutely despised his book.
Wait a second. You're saying you don't like Brave New World?
I hated it. It was no.
That's actually disappointing. I love Brave New World.
It was
one of my favorite books.
Like it was okay. I'll give it this. It had good world building. It proposed some very good questions. However, no, absolutely not.
I'm like 99% sure
like
you didn't even read the entirety of Brave New World.
You can shush. We don't talk about how I wrote a 4-page 6-paragraph word essay in 45 minutes and then proceeded to present it to my English class. Even though I definitely read the book, guys. Definitely read the book.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Whatever.
And then I got full points. But anyways,
What's your favorite book?
No, I didn't.
In that case?
No, I didn't.
I'm curious.
My favorite. No, don't ask me that.
Oh gosh. I better have asked a 10-minute question just
book.
now.
Oh my gosh. No, favorite book right now. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't read a lot, and so I could really only tell you, like, off the top of my head, like, one of my favorite book series is, like, Warrior Cats.
Really? Warrior
like,
Cats.
Like, that's really all. Leave me alone, okay? That's why
I didn't even say anything. I just said Warrior Cats.
Making fun of me!
Man of culture.
Anyways,
Oh, man.
I am a man of culture.
Okay, what? You can go on and answer the question. Oh, I'll just ask it, actually. So, what was the first series you ever wrote fan fiction for, and how was that experience?
Oh, you know the answer to this question, bud.
Unfortunately, I do.
You unfortunately do know the answer to this. So, at the very beginning of the podcast, I mentioned how I had a holy trinity of fandoms or pieces of work that I wrote for, and one of those was being the 2015 King of Video Games, Undertale. Yes, that was my first fan fiction series I wrote for. It was on Wattpad before it got monetized.
Oh, I thought Detroit Become Human was actually your first.
It had a Oh no.
Okay,
Anyways,
go on.
Yes, it did have a self-insert character. Yes, I did make myself the main love interest. I was 12.
Oh.
Something. I don't even know. I was 12, I think. 12 or 13, so I was at that stage. I was prepubescent, and I was little tiny in love with big underswap papyrus, so y'all can leave me alone for that. We'll say it. I would say it with my full chest. Yes, I made a self-insert character, and yes, you can no longer find the series. I made that series, and then I made a spin-off series for Underfell because I really liked Underfell as an AU. But I was in that fandom for God knows how long. I still really enjoy the game. I'm not in the fandom anymore, but I love the game itself, and I play it a lot whenever I have free time if I want to be nostalgic. But yeah, that was like the first series I published fan fiction for. And it was on iPad. You can no longer find. You can't find it because I deleted my account that had it on the account. So no, you cannot go find it. I'm not telling you what it was. I'm not telling you what my old account name was. I'm not telling you what it was called. But the gist of it was very much a self-insert character fan fiction, but it had a storyline. I really liked it. Although it was very Mary Sue, and oh god, everything that you can think of that's like a bad fan fiction trope, yeah, I probably had it in there.
I mean, you gotta start somewhere, man.
Orbs.
You gotta start somewhere.
The silver orbs of her face.
What?
I can't even. I'm so happy I've evolved past that state.
It's evolution is nice. I have to agree. Unfortunately,
evolution is very nice, my guy.
Unfortunately, unlike you can still find all of my writing, all of my Undertale fanfiction online. You never will. You never will. Search as much as you'd like, but you will never find it. You won't. I will make sure you don't. And you know what?
Shaun,
it was banging. It was. I went back and I read some of it, and I gotta be honest, it was kind of banging. All right. I had some cool ideas.
Shaun told me, because one time I was like, because we were talking about it one time, way back last year when we first started like really becoming friends, and we were talking about it. I'm like, oh, you should send it to me. We can read it. And he was like, no. And this was back when he was like going to like revise some of my stuff that I had already been writing. And I said, oh, I'm gonna go find it, haha. And he said, if you do, I'm never speaking to you again. And so he threatened me. So yeah, guys, go find it for me and then send it to me so that I can read it.
No. You go find that. Look, man, that gets dug up. I'm quitting the internet. All right, I'm done. My Twitch account gone. This podcast over. This episode gone. I'm going to B's house. I'm gonna break all their windows, and I'm going to delete their fanfiction.
I'm going to slay you with my sword before you get anywhere near my computer.
I don't doubt that, actually. I will break your windows, though. I will break your windows.
I will see you from a mile coming. You are so goddamn tall.
You might see me, but will
Like,
you be
will
fast
not-
enough to stop me? That is a question.
Yes, I am small.
I got
and
long
I am
legs. I got
mighty,
long legs.
so
I take
yes,
one
will.
step and I'm like 10 feet forward. Trust me. My stride, it's incredible. It's
Okay,
incredible.
okay.
Massive. All right. Let's.
Stride
Well,
is
this has devolved so much. Oh my gosh, have we been going for a long time?
I love it. I
This has
love
been.
it.
I have to say
This
this
is so great.
this episode has gone on a lot longer than I expected it would. I think in the past these episodes would definitely be a lot shorter. However, I really hope you guys have all enjoyed listening. B, just to wrap everything up, let me ask you, what is your final advice for like writers in general? Fanfiction writers, yes, but also just writers in general.
Do it. Stop comparing yourselves. I had a conversation with one of my artist friends about this. Stop comparing yourself to other people. Okay? It does you no good. You'll get better, okay? Like, it takes time to get better. It takes a lot of time, and you're not gonna instantly be good at something just because you put 45 minutes of effort into it. Your first piece of work is not going to be your last because you suck at it, because you don't suck at it, you're just starting. You're beginning your process and your path to becoming a better artist or becoming a better writer, but you have to go through that rough period of like, you have to critique yourself, and you're gonna get better, but you are going to put yourself into so much pain if you compare yourself. That's how that I had to get past that, personally, with comparing myself to other things, because I would see how much attention this one thing was getting, or how much attention this one fan fiction was getting, and I'd be like, oh well, I'm not as good as this person. Why? But even though I have a really good idea, why are they getting more attention than I am? It's just a thing of not everything's gonna be a success. It's gonna take time, it's gonna take effort, but eventually you'll get there. And I believe in you. Do it, but stop comparing yourself. Stop
Okay.
it.
I have to
Hit
say,
you.
comparing
I'll hit
yourself,
you over
that
the
is
head.
that's a dark tunnel to go down. Okay. Actual last question though. Let's say somebody in this chat right now and who's watching this podcast, who's listening to this podcast, they want to start writing fan fiction right now, but they don't know how to do it, where to do it, like what to use to do it. What would you recommend? What programs and where should they upload it?
Google Docs, AO3, if you know how to use it, stuff. I don't recommend Wattpad, but if that's your only option, Wattpad, use Google Docs to write it, then copy paste it, edit it a little bit. Unless you want to use Wattpad or AO3's methods of writing it, then that's fine. I just personally use Google Docs because it's a lot easier for my brain to process.
And you should also have
writing,
other people look over it too. I highly recommend that. And Google Docs is great for that due to the suggestion feature.
If you can't have somebody look it over, have somebody look it over, and have critiques and stuff. And also, don't take criticism to heart. I used to do that when Shane first started critiquing my work, and it gets better. Don't take everything to heart. It doesn't mean they hate your thing or they think it's bad. You're improving, and they're helping you improve. So thank you, Shaun. You're great.
You're welcome.
Love
I didn't realize you took
awesome.
that to heart.
Thank
I
you.
apologize for that. I'm happy that I've been able to help you. Seriously, having a proofreader, very helpful.
No. That was way back in 2020 when I first started talking to you.
Back in the Detroit Become Human days. The freezer fic.
Yeah. Freezer fic. Oh god, I would love to write for that more. It's just I don't have motivation to, and I'm already writing for this series, and I kind of want to finish it. This is gonna be the series that I finished. So
I'm looking forward to seeing
that.
that.
I eventually will go back to those. It's just that some stuff happened last year, and so I couldn't write for my one series due to some stuff happening in my personal life. And then I had started to lose interest in to become human again, just a little bit. I still love the game and I still love the fandom. It's just I've become distant from it again because I've been getting into Dream SMP more.
Alright, that's fair. So, last thing, I almost forgot, but I think I'd be disappointing a lot of people in chat if I did. something that I think a lot of you have come here for. B, would you please present us with that little sneak peek of Chapter 7 you were talking about?
Yes. Well, I don't really have anything to sneak peek for you. However, I would love to talk about it just a little bit, or talk about Chapter 6 and a few of the little things hinted at in the chapter, if you don't mind.
Go for it. Go for it. Please.
Go for it. Okay.
Stage is all yours.
So thank you. So, very end. I'm just gonna say for people who are in chat right now who read it's the Dead That Harbor Those Grudges. Pay attention. Pay attention. Just a little bit. I know people have already guessed a few things. I know people have already been speculating in the comments of that. And again, I respond to comments on AO3. I should go check out some of my comments I've made. Because sometimes I'm like, thank you, or other times I'm like vaguely hinting at little sneak peeks. But I think pay attention to what I write, because most of the time I write stuff that is meaningful and impactful, and does impact the story, or I'm hinting at something deeper. What is it? Oh, I actually can give you guys a little bit more evidence, and then I'm going to talk about Chapter 7 here in a second.
Oh, okay.
Fuck, where is it? No! Oh, okay, hold on. Okay, so it's... Okay, I can kind of remember it. Wait. I can remember it. Okay, so going back... Okay, I gotta go in my Discord DMs real quick. Okay, hold on. I got this. Alright. I gotta scroll up on my one Discord DM. Because there was this one person who DM'd me, and they were asking a question about the end of Chapter 5. And I was like, oh yeah, kind of, Oh, there we go. Okay, here it is. There was some text at the end of Chapter 5, and it was enchantment table stuff. So I'm gonna read that out, and I'm gonna say what it said in case anybody in chat didn't get to translate it. It is, here it is, my dramatic reading of it. I'm not good at reading, by the way, just leave me alone. Alright,
The writer's bad at reading, everybody.
Shut up! Oh my god.
Sorry.
Anyway, so here's the translated version of the text at the end of Chapter 5. Or chapter... Was it chapter? It was Chapter 5. Okay. Here's the direct translation of what was at the end of Chapter 5. Alright. Well, a voice echoed against the obsidian walls. This will be the most entertainment I've had in eons. Let the games begin, friends. So that was the direct translation of what happened with the end of Chapter 5.
Was that like written in a different language? I haven't quite gotten there yet.
Oh yeah, it was in enchantment table.
Oh, okay.
So I wrote it in enchantment table. Some people figured it out, some people didn't, that I put it out there. But now going in, I'm going to talk just a wee bit about Chapter 7. Emotional ride? Yeah? Oh my god. It's going to be a lot worse than you're thinking.
Oh.
I've warned a couple people. Like it's not bad as in it's going to get like, oh, no, it's just prepare yourself. Get ready. I've been building up to this moment. like this is the one moment I've had in my head for the past like month. So I know exactly how it's going to go down. I know exactly how it's going to get written. And let me tell you, I have cried each time I've thought about it. I have cried. Makes me upset because I have to do it. That's just me vaguely talking about it. Again, pay attention to what I do in my writing. Look at my comments I sometimes respond with on my AO3 thing. And yeah, it's Chapter 7. Emotional fucking roller coaster. It's gonna go into what I said earlier in the podcast with talking about Fundy's character more. So that chapter is gonna go into that, and then if you deduce enough with some of the clues I've left, you can definitely tell who else is going to be involved in that chapter as well. And by that standpoint, you can kind of make a few guesses. But it's definitely going to be a lot different than you're thinking. Probably. Hopefully. I really hope it is. But that's all I'm saying. I'm staying vague because if I say anything else, I'm going to spoil it and then I'm going to have to change it. But yeah, be prepared. Prepare your tissues, prepare your pitchforks and torches, and don't dox me, I guess. So
the next section of the podcast shall be the toxic section.
Oh no!
Here's Candy
dox me
Campy's
casually.
IP address in case you need it after the next chapter.
No!
Okay.
I'll cry. My one friend who reads it, who is also in the Discord server, we chat a lot about it, and last time she read it, I texted her and I was like, hey, scale from 1 to 10, are you gonna come over and, like, murder me? And she said, yeah, murdering you, and because she knows where I live. She lives literally a few blocks away, so she could easily come over to my house, break in, and, like, murder me if she wanted to, but,
you gotta be careful, man.
Because she texts me. I'm like, scale from 1 to 10, how much do you want to kill me after reading chapter 6? And she says, oh, you're getting a knife in the chest. And I said, okay, thank you. So I'm expecting a tiny munchkin to come and get me because she's small and tiny and short. That's also terrifying because I'm scared of short people.
You're scared of short people?
I am. They're too powerful.
No, I get that. It's an
have
extremely small
power.
person. I can relate. Okay. All right.
Huh? Did you say
No, I
coming
can-
from a small person or?
No, as a tall person, I can relate to the fear.
Good, fear me.
No, not you. You're not that small. You're
Yeah,
average.
No, I am short because.
How
No,
tall
I am
are you?
not. Actually, I am. I'm actually gonna lie about my height. I am the nationally average height for men.
I'm actually gonna lie about my height. They say right before saying their height.
No, okay. Okay. No. Okay, so my actual height is like 5'8" or something last time I checked, but I just say I'm 5'9" because then I'm 69 inches.
You two. Oh my gosh. All right, this is the end of the podcast.
No!
Okay. B. Candy Campies, it has been extremely fun to talk to you on this podcast.
Wait, wait, 1 minute. Wait. Didn't you want to ask me where I got my name from?
Oh yeah, I did want to ask you where you got your name from. Yeah. Where does the name Candy Campies come from?
It's actually an inside joke. I did what's called Model UN. I'm not doxing myself by saying the first one, but I did something called Model UN, and basically, it's like a debate thingy that you basically pick a country, you pick a problem from the country, and then you try to solve it.
My school started doing that too.
Yeah. It's really fun. And so you go to like this big convention in Columbus. Fuck. I just doxed myself.
Okay,
Oh my
look,
God,
B.
I'm
We all know you don't live in Columbus. It's a pretty big city.
Stupid.
It's a pretty big city, okay? Like, Columbus is like the city of Ohio, alright? It's not that big of a deal. It's
I
like
know,
saying,
okay,
I go to this convention in New York City. Oh no! I just doxed myself. Nobody cares. You're good. You're good, B.
Okay.
You're good.
Oh well. Well, I dox my state. Anyways, so
Who cares? There are
yeah,
like
so
50 of
there's
them.
this big whatever. But yeah, there's this big convention in Columbus, and so then I went down there, and I was like 8th grade. And our country was Ireland, and we had like these little debate rooms that we went in and we debated with other countries and tried to see if we could get our topic to like the big one, which was basically like you went into a big room and the top ones that were voted in got to present it to like the entire collective. And mind you, there were at least like 300 different groups there. It was big. There's a multiple kids on each group. So we're in this little room, right? And we're with the other countries. I think it was I think it was India, Thailand, Italy, and Singapore, I believe. And we were Ireland. And so Italy's up there, and they're talking about bees, all right? Because they're talking about conservation of bees. And they had said something. And mind you, I'm an eighth grader, and I'm stupid. And my team did not have me have a filter at all. They kind of just said, if you have a question, just look at us, and then you can stand up and ask it. But you had to ask it in a very specific way. So I proceed to stand up because I had a question. I had a genuine question. So I proceed to stand up, and I go, "This is of Ireland. I have a question. Is there a way that you know of to count bees?" And the entire room goes silent, and they're just staring at me. And I realize how stupid I sound, like seconds after I say it. And so my entire face goes red. I am staring dead-eyed at this one girl from the group, and we're just making eye contact. Everyone is so confused. I can feel my friend Hannah's anger just from the side of my face. I can feel it just hitting me. She is mad at me because I've now made my entire team look stupid. And so the girl looks at me and she's like, no. And so I sit down, and then my group leader, Bradley, he wasn't the like group leader because we all were technically like a collaborative, but we all kind of just let him become group leader. He looks at me because I'm sitting by him, and he says, "AJ, love you. Talk to us before you ask any more questions." And so they then banned me from talking. so that's where it came from, and it kind of just became a whole inside joke. And it's just kind of become like my entire handle, I guess. And it's also stemmed my love for bees as well. I began to really like bees and really look into them stuff. So
Okay.
yeah, it's basically just an inside joke, big inside joke that I think is really funny. You had to be there when it happened because I'm not explaining it in its full, beautiful, immaculate detail because it was both the funniest and the most that's ever happened to me. So
Your voice actually cut out
that's pretty much
at
it.
like the end of that thought there. It just sounded like, and the most that's ever happened to me. Could you repeat
Embarrassing.
that? Embarrassing. That sounds surprising.
It was the most. Yeah, it was the most funny. It was the funniest thing, and also the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me.
Mm-hmm. That's actually really funny. I like your name. I honestly love the username a lot. Can you count bees? It's a very nice username, and bees are great.
Thank you. I've also Oh my gosh, I love bees, but I've also shortened it down to endless bees just because of like. I don't know, but I genuinely love Can You Count Bees. That's always good. That's always and then everybody just calls me Bee because I like the name Bee is very nice. I like it. I go by other names, but like I love the name Bee. It's great.
Okay.
Because I'm very energetic and buzzing like a bee.
That's true. You are constantly buzzing, incessantly, very annoying, right in my ears.
Shut up! You love me.
Yeah, whatever. All right. Well,
platonically, but
yeah,
anyways.
yeah. I know. Platonically, yes. All right, chat. Everybody who's listening, thank you all so much for coming. That's where we're gonna end the podcast for today. Before we leave, before we end this, please, where can we find you?
Twitter. I have 2 Twitters. Hold on, I have to make sure I'm not saying what my alt Twitter is. Twitter at it's taking 9 years to load. Okay, that's
Isn't it Counted Bees?
All right, going to my actual account. Twitter. It's Counted Bees. Then you can find me on AO3 underneath Can You Count Bees. That's can_you_count_bees. And then that's pretty much all where I am at the moment.
Okay. So, chat, everybody listening, all my listeners out there, I don't know if Spotify or like Apple podcasts have a description on every episode, but if they do, these will be down there. If you're watching on YouTube, these will definitely be on there. Links to everything that B has just mentioned will be down there. And chat, I have just put both of those usernames in chat if you're watching the stream right now. Real quickly, I want to plug my own stuff. I want to say this was all streamed live on twitch.tv/Shaun Saxum. Link is in the description. If you're watching the YouTube video, it's in the description of this video. If you're listening to the podcast on like Apple Podcasts or something, it's in the description of the whole thing. I would really love to see you guys live sometime. I'm going to try and make this sort of a weekly thing, but we'll see how it goes. B will be on the next episode as a guest host. And how we're going to do this, essentially, every episode, whoever the previous guest is will be a previous guest that I'm interviewing will be a guest host on the next podcast. So next podcast will be me and B interviewing someone else. I'm not really sure who yet. I have a few people I'm thinking of reaching out to, but we'll see. And you guys will know if you follow and check me out on Twitter. Actually, you can find me at oh shoot, do I actually have my Twitter? Hold on a second. No, I don't. I'm sorry.
While he's looking for that.
Hold on, let me pull up my Discord.
Gosh.
You can find me there.
While he's talking,
actually, never mind.
But while he is not talking, can you let me talk?
No. Go on.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, this was cuffed.
While he's not talking, let me tell you, I was just now informed about this. I had no idea I was gonna be a guest host, but let's go!
What? I did not tell you about this? I'm so sorry. I thought I had told you about this.
So when you're like, oh, you're gonna be a guest host on my next podcast, I'm like, oh, yeah!
Okay, well, chat, here's a link to my Discord. Go there and you'll find everything. And for those listening, you'll find all of my social links in the description, of course. If you follow me on Twitter, that's where you'll get all my updates. Every time I'm about to go live, every time I'm about to go live with this podcast, every time I have a new guest and I'm planning out the podcast, you'll see it there. You'll know when it is. You'll be able to come watch. And yeah, I'd really love it if you could come prepared with some questions. I would really love to hear what you guys have to say. And yeah, please, if you're watching this on Twitch, please leave me a follow. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave me a like and consider subscribing. If you're watching this on whatever else, leave me a rating or whatever fits that system, whatever fits that media.
Leave me a rating.
I need to live. All right, look, I don't want to hear it, Nadia.
This is my livelihood.
This podcast is over.
This is my livelihood. Please leave me a livelihood.
All right, this has been episode 1 of the Create Stuff podcast with Can You Camp Bees. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. And I hope you have a wonderful evening. And I hope that you're going to go out there and create some stuff.